Good to see you. Welcome in. It's Wednesday. It's Kirsten Liebelt. Good to see you. How are you doing today? How are you doing? It's halfway through the week. How's your plan going? How is your plan going? I'm telling you, sometimes it feels like if you could just have little marker points, how much more helpful that would be. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Listen, I want to remind you guys that on today we're going to talk about leaky gut, how insulin resistance creates leaky gut. How do you know that you have it? Like, what are the identifying signs? What can you do about what's going to exacerbate it? What's the fallout of it if you don't do anything about it? And then how can you help it naturally? That's what we're going to chat about today. So we have a lot of good stuff. Wednesday night, December 18th, mark your calendars. There is a 1-hour longevity clinic that is coming to town, and you do not have to be my customer and you do not have to be local in order to take this in, and it is completely free. You will walk away with actual, tangible action steps that you can take to literally increase your longevity. Like, what are the markers? What are the things that they look for in order to help with somebody living longer with better quality of life? So this guy, I put up a thing. I don't have it because I'm using all of my devices. I have a new device coming though, so that'll help me. But anyway, I forget his credentials. However, he's like 58 years old and he has 12% body fat. That's not me. 12% body fat. So this guy really, he's his own experience. Good morning. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I'm wearing a light shirt, so I have to now see if I can read all of the comments there. Oh my gosh. Good to see you guys on TikTok. Come on in from the balcony. We're going to talk about insulin resistance today. 3:00 today in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. By the way, for the longevity clinic, you have to reach out to me. It's invite only. In order to get the Zoom link, you have to reach out to me and tell me that you want the Zoom link for Wednesday, December 18th from 7 to 8 p.m. It's free $99. Free $99. Like, this is a really great opportunity just to kind of take your health to another level, your understanding to another level, so that whatever. It's such a great mind shift set right in the middle of December, right before Christmas comes, so that you're then able to prepare for the new year. Claudette, good morning. Good to see you. And then to fix this just a little bit. And then 3:00 today, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. We will be doing a pantry and a fridge reveal. Yesterday we did ingredient trade outs. And every month we do a 5-day free challenge in the group to resource you, to encourage you, to get you feeling like you can perform at a higher level. Because remember, this all doesn't happen overnight, right? It doesn't happen overnight. This is a healing journey, but it's worth it and you can do it. And I'm telling you, it's a lot easier than I ever thought it was going to be. So, all right, let's dive in. I'd love to know, are you guys, I'm going to take some water. Are you guys done with Christmas shopping? Who's done with Christmas shopping? I haven't started yet. I mean, I probably don't have as much to. Carol, thank you. Or is it Carrie? Corey, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I don't have as much to buy anymore because my kids aren't little. They're all adults, and now we do experiences. So sometimes we travel, sometimes we do a really nice restaurant, sometimes we do an escape room. We do other things like that instead. But I still haven't started. I'm not concerned. Really, I'm not. All right. So hold on. I'm going to get down here because this is what you need to know. When we are talking about leaky gut, the reason why I even bring this up is because we're talking about insulin resistance. And did you know that insulin resistance leads to leaky gut? like it creates it. So again, remember when I say everything is connected, everything is connected. This is what I mean by this. We are very siloed in our conversations about medical help in the United States. And so therefore you go to one doctor to talk about an autoimmune condition. You go to another doctor to talk about your insulin resistance. You go to another doctor to talk about your digestive issues. You go to another, like it's ridiculous. And this is why a lot of you now are turning to functional medicine, because we realize, oh, wait a second, this was actually all connected, not disconnected. So let's learn today how these are connected so that you can go, oh man, okay, again, wow, the answer is the same. If I turn back my insulin resistance, I can actually gain ground on everything that is happening in my body. So my insulin resistance showed up when I was about 22 years old and I got pregnant. I was married, I got pregnant. I end up with gestational diabetes. My baby is 9 pounds, 13 ounces. What? I swore I'd never have kids again, but I did. I had 2 more, but he was a very large baby because when you're gestational diabetic, that's what happens. And then my second one, I was hypoglycemic. So I was going the other direction where my sugars were dropping too low, but it's the same coin. It's 2 sides of the exact same coin, insulin resistance. But I didn't do anything about it for about at least 25 years. Now that's having my dad die from type 2 diabetes. And he was insulin dependent, giving himself injections in his belly twice a day. And I was 30 when he died. And I still didn't do anything, you guys, like forever. So never think that you are without hope. Don't be so hard on yourself. Listen, when you know better, you do better, okay? And then when I did finally deal with my own insulin resistance, I teach the exact same things that I did. I teach the exact same things. Like, let's keep this as simple as possible. If you walk away from me and you think this is going to be complicated, then I have not shared my message clearly enough, because I only teach 2 things: targeted supplementation and food ingredient trade-outs. I thought that I would never be a supplementing person ever, because my idea of supplementing was ibuprofen. I always talk about that. But then secondly, I never in a bazillion years thought that I would trade out my foods, but I did. So having said that, let's dive into some of this information about why and how is insulin resistance connected to leaky gut. Because I'm going to tell you, I turned mine back around. I went from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. And when you do that, one of the best side benefits is that you can finally lose weight. So I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s. Okay. So that's my story in a teeny, tiny little nutshell. And let's dive into this. So insulin resistance and leaky gut are closely linked through a cycle of inflammation. Oh, inflammation, dysregulated metabolism, and damage to your intestinal barrier. And here is why. Number 1, chronic inflammation. Insulin resistance triggers systemic inflammation. I talk about this all the time, as elevated insulin and blood sugar levels stimulate the release of inflammatory markers like cytokines. So high insulin, high sugar, bam, bam, bam. You're just releasing inflammation. These cytokines damage the tight junctions of the intestinal lining, making the gut barrier more permeable. Okay, so inflammation, if you can bring down your inflammation and if you can begin to turn these things around, I am telling you, like your best friend, you will feel so much better. But the reason why you will feel so much better is because, can you imagine, like, right, you wake up and your inflammation is gone. What happens if your inflammation is gone in your body? What happens when you reduce? Oh man, you feel good. Your body feels good and your insides feel good. It's just how it works. Number 2, gut microbiome dysbiosis. This is another way that insulin resistance is leading to leaky gut. Insulin resistance often correlates with an imbalance in gut bacteria known as dysbiosis. Harmful bacteria produce endotoxins that further erode the gut lining. So there's this whole system going on of eroding your gut lining. And what did they say in the earlier one? They said they damage the tight junctions of the intestinal lining, making the gut barrier more permeable. That's why it's called leaky gut, because it's leaking through your intestinal wall. Okay. So your nutrients. Harmful bacteria produce endotoxins. Okay, so elevated blood sugar feeds the harmful bacteria, worsening the dysbiosis and perpetuating leaky gut. So do you hear about like how sugar feeds the C word? Sugar feeds bacteria. That's what's happening. The blood sugar, your elevated blood sugar is feeding your harmful bacteria, and it's worsening and perpetuating your leaky gut. We have to make a change in that, right? How do you get rid of inflammation? You mean that's something that is, did it come with H? I'm not sure. I am not type 2. When you know better, you do better. That's right, Megan. That's right, Megan. No, I'm the only one in my family that completely avoided type 2. And I did it by supplementing and then changing out my foods. And I'm Italian, a lot of type 2 and obesity in my family. That was how I was raised. And so, yeah, a lot of type 2. I talk about it all the time. How do you get rid of inflammation? No, I mean, that's something that is. Let me know, because you said, did it come with H? And I'm not positive what you're meaning. So let me know. You can rephrase that, and then I would love to answer that for you. All right. So oxidative stress. This is number 3. High blood sugar and insulin levels generate oxidative stress in your cells. This stress weakens the gut lining by damaging cells responsible for maintaining its integrity. Man, I'll tell you. It's all connected. Everything I talk about. Fatty liver and bile acid imbalance. This is very common. We have so many people that are like, I've been diagnosed with fatty liver or like I've had my gallbladder removed because you've had like imbalances, right? I mean, that's just the way that goes. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Insulin resistance can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, impairing bile acid production and flow. Bile acid plays a crucial role in regulating gut bacteria. Without proper bile flow, harmful bacteria can overgrow and contribute to intestinal permeability. The fact that it's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, right? Like we know this, right? You instinctively know this. So over 50 years ago, the people that had fatty liver were alcoholics. Now it's everywhere. Now it's like with everybody. It's crazy how much fatty liver we have. So much so that it's in our children. Like this is a really big problem. Hello, Dream Baby. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you very, very much. Does insulin resistance have anything to do with your adrenal glands? I know you said cortisol does. Short answer, yes. How do you get rid of inflammation about your body without taking medication for it? Oh, definitely. Oh, good question. Okay, I will answer that. Also, how do you pass recordings on your live broadcast? This is the first time I've been on here. Welcome. It is so nice to meet you. I go live here every day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m., unless it's a holiday or I'm traveling. This is the first time I've been on here. I just happened to see your broadcast right now. That's fantastic. So how do you share it? I actually don't know what it looks like on your side. Usually there's a little triangle arrow and you can share it out. I believe that that's what you would do. Like you would share the arrow. Thank you for asking. I so appreciate you. It's crazy the sugar they put in everything. Yes. So yes, it's in everything. And usually it's in the form of corn syrup. Because corn is not a vegetable. Does everybody know that corn is not a vegetable? I won't go down that road right now, but if they are making syrup out of it, it's not a vegetable. It's a grain. But anyway, okay. So the fatty liver and the bile imbalance. This is a really big conversation because so many of you come to me and you're like, I've had my gallbladder taken out, and so what do we What do we do about that? Well, bile imbalance and fatty liver, you have to take care of your liver. Love your liver every single day. You have to love your liver. It is your fat metabolizing organ. It is helping you govern your hormones. Insulin is a hormone. It is helping you to govern the sugar in your blood. It is doing so many good things for you. You have to take care of it. And the protocol that I talk about, whether I'm talking about supplementation, whether I'm talking about gut primer, this is all to help your liver. That's why we talk about these pieces, so that you can get from the inside out an overhaul, a recalibration, so to speak. So you had asked the question, Lisa. Oh, Lisa says sometimes it says it'll share. There's a button that says share. Does insulin resistance have anything to do with your adrenal glands? Insulin is a hormone. And so what happens is you start with your insulin starts to get high because it's trying to take your glucose and shuttle it into your cells. Well, when it can't get it into your cell because you're resistant, your pancreas keeps on making insulin. So when your insulin is high, it starts to domino affect all of your other hormones. Okay. And there are a lot of them. There are hormones that tell you when you're full. There are hormones that your GLP-1. Who has not heard of GLP-1? But guess where they're like made in your gut, right? But your adrenals, they sit on top of your kidneys and they regulate your hormones. So you need your adrenals to be happy, because cortisol is a hormone, insulin is a hormone, GLP-1 is a hormone, ghrelin is a hormone, leptin is a hormone. You've got all of this amazing dance of hormones going on in your body, and we've just kind of trashed it with a broom. We've just kind of swatted at our hormones and taken them down, just brrr, and then they're kind of messed up. So we need to get in there from the inside out, and treating your adrenals well is absolutely a piece of the puzzle because of the cortisol, for sure. Cortisol is your stress hormone. And so it's kind of I always think of it as a sister hormone to insulin. They're sisters. And so you definitely want to deal with both your insulin and your cortisol, bringing them down, because guess why you got belly fat? Belly fat is insulin resistance, high cortisol. It's very frustrating. And I understand that very, very much. So fatty liver and bile imbalance was number 4. Number 5 is slow gut motility. Insulin resistance can slow your gut motility, increasing the risk of bacterial overgrowth in your small intestine. It's called SIBO. SIBO inflames your gut lining and directly contributes to leaky gut. The cycle of insulin resistance and leaky gut, it just keeps going around and around and around. Insulin resistance, leaky gut, insulin resistance, leaky gut. Okay. All right. Now let's get to the meat of all of this. Here we go. So leaky gut or increased intestinal permeability occurs when the lining of the gut becomes damaged. This is allowing, so what's happening, you guys? It's allowing toxins, partially digested food, and bacteria to leak into your bloodstream, triggering inflammation and immune responses. If you know anybody that has autoimmune, let's make the proper connections. Okay? Let's make the proper connections. So how do you know if you have leaky gut? How do you know? Number 1, digestive issues, bloating, gas, diarrhea, or constipation. Number 2, food sensitivities, increased reactions to foods that you once tolerated. Number 3, chronic fatigue and brain fog. Number 4, skin issues like eczema, rash, or acne. I don't remember what number I'm on. Joint pain and muscle aches. I think that was number 5. And a weakened immunity, frequent colds or infections. Functional medicine practitioners may use certain tests or stool analysis for confirmation if you feel like you need a confirmation. Now let's get into the most offensive foods. I feel like I missed something. Nope, I didn't. Lisa, are you raising your hand because this is you? Is that what you're doing? Me, 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 me. I think that's what you're doing. And the answer to the question about how do you get rid of inflammation naturally? Well, number one, turn back your insulin resistance. Turn it back. But then number two, and you can do that with supplements. You can do that with, yep, Lisa, she's over there raising her hand. You can use supplementation. You can use the trio to turn back your insulin resistance to really help your sugars and your insulin, help your liver function, help your metabolism and your visceral fat. Like this is where I started a little over 10 years ago. Okay. So a really, really good start is to start with the trio. I talk about good, better, best. Good, start with the trio. Secondly, then you can use other pieces of your puzzle to really help with your inflammation. So for instance, like when I talk about a better option, I talk about using a gut primer, which will help you with your liver health, which will help you with inflammation inside of your gut, which will help you with like, oh man, so many things, because a gut primer is not a greens product. So it's different. It's actually helping with oral health, liver health, nutrient absorption, inflammation, metabolism. And when you help your gut, you're helping your gut to like produce the GLP-1 that you want. Like you can imagine constipation, indigestion, bad sleep, fatigue. Like a gut primer is a completely different universe, but it's going to help with that inflammation. And then you need a good probiotic, because again, you're bringing down that inflammation. So good is the trio, better is the trio, and the gut reset protocol. Okay. And then there is a best, but I'll get to that in just a second. And the last thing that I would say about inflammation, because that's the question that you asked. I have a phenomenal turmeric. Most turmeric is not bioavailable. So you're taking turmeric and it's not even getting into your system. But who would know that? We don't know this stuff, right? So when you want to take turmeric, how do I say this? The turmeric that I have is 45 times more absorbable than the average turmeric, which means that you take 400 milligrams of the turmeric that I take every day. It's super bright orange. I can show it to you. And it's like taking 6,000 milligrams of another brand of turmeric. It's a very potent. See how orange that is? And it just as a little side note, it has fenugreek in it. Makes it smell a little bit like maple syrup, in my opinion. Not everybody agrees with me, but it's a sweet smell. And fenugreek is helpful for your sugars. That's just another little side note fun. But you can use that like, and I'm not making claims, but you can use it like an IB, like an ibuprofen. Okay. It'll help with aches and pains. And it actually says that on the bottle, so I can say it. I can repeat it. Helps with aches and pains associated with exercise. That's how they say it. That's how they make their claim on that. And that's really unusual for a supplement company to ever say the P word. Very unusual. But that's how good the anti-inflammatory nature of that particular turmeric is. I'm just telling you how that goes. Nancy, thank you so much, Nancy. I appreciate you. What's GLP-1? GLP-1 is a hormone that people are injecting themselves with to lose weight. That's what GLP-1 is. Yeah, just saying. We don't, because we don't know the basics. We don't know that GLP-1 is created in our gut. And if we would just take care of our gut, we might lose weight better. I mean, we have to reverse engineer until you're at the root cause, instead of here's a script for this, and here's a script for this, and here's a script for this. And we're going to take Band-Aid on your symptom, Band-Aid on your symptom, Band-Aid on your symptom. And you'll just have Band-Aids all over you because you're just covering up symptoms. That's very frustrating. So the most offensive foods that you could be eating if you have leaky gut, or you suspect that you have leaky gut, number one, gluten. Number one is gluten. Okay. It damages your intestinal lining in susceptible people. Gluten damages your intestinal lining when you are susceptible to leaky gut. Dairy. I'm not dairy free. I'm not. I am grain free. So that means I'm I'm gluten free mainly because I'm grain free. And also I don't eat things that just put gluten in them for the heck of it. I pay attention to that stuff, but I'm not dairy free. I mean, some people would say it would be beneficial, right? But dairy contains casein and lactose, which can irritate the gut. This is why people are like, I'm lactose intolerant. I have to make sure, blah, blah, blah. Number 3, processed foods, high in additives and preservatives. So they're really harsh. They're just harsh on your gut. Number 4, refined sugar. Come on, we know this. We're not confused by this, are we? Right? Feeds your harmful gut bacteria and increases your inflammation. It's increasing your inflammation. Alcohol is number 5. Any amount of alcohol, right, disrupts the gut lining and the microbiome balance. And then the last one, number 6, seed oils. Inflammatory fats like soybean, corn, canola, trash them. Just throw them away. I give you permission. They're just pennies. It doesn't matter. I know that they're on the end cap at Walmart. I understand this. I know they come in big vats at Costco. I get it. But they're horrible for you. Horrible. They're so inflammatory. Now, you're not going to get away from them all the time unless you ask every restaurant if they cook and or fry in seed oils. You're not going to get away from it. But you can seriously reduce your load by not eating processed foods that have soybean oil in freaking everything, and then getting rid of the seed oils in your home. And again, at 3 p.m. in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, today we're doing the pantry and the fridge reveal. So that'll be great. Nancy, thank you so much. I so appreciate you, Nancy. You're amazing. Because you have to switch things out. And I talk about switch out your sugars, switch out your flours, and switch out your oils. And you guys, I don't miss anything. I'm grain, sugar, and legume free. And I'm telling you, we live in 2024 with the internet where you can find the most amazing recipe trade out for everything that you want and love. It exists. I promise you. All right. Fallout from leaky gut. So what if you're just like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do anything about my leaky gut because I'm not in the mood. What if you say that? Nobody's ever said that to me. But what's the fallout if you don't do anything? The fallout from not dealing with your insulin resistance, we talk about that all the time. Insulin resistance is the very base of everything. 100%. Carol, good morning. Good to see you. You're good. No problemo. And on top of that, insulin resistance is, oh my goodness. Like, where do we start? Let's see here. How many things can we name? Leaky gut and high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes and PCOS and gout in your feet and dementia, and like the list goes on, and weight gain, inability to lose weight. Like, it just, everything is connected to insulin resistance. So what is connected to leaky gut? Let's get into that. Good morning, Lori. How are you? Good to see you. I'm so glad that you jumped on. Sherry, good morning. Hello, beautiful. Sorry, I have not been on for a while, but just got out of the hospital. Sherry, I'm so sorry. How are you doing? I would really like to know how you're doing. And don't you ever apologize. That's tough. I don't like it when I hear journeys like that. But I'm going to just trust that you are healing really nicely. And I will pray for you, Sherry. I will pray for you. Absolutely. Dang, I don't like that. Okay, these are the fallouts from leaky gut. So if you didn't understand that this was a connection to these things, now you know. Now you'll know. Number 1, autoimmune diseases. I would like to know if anybody knew that an autoimmune disease like Hashimoto's, thyroiditis, rheumatoid arthritis, or lupus were connected to leaky gut. Why do you think I don't shut up? Why do you think? Like, get the gut primer. Get a good probiotic. Like, come on. We can do this. We can take back our health. It torques me off. It just really makes me mad because people are living with, I hear, this is my inbox. This is my inbox. And we can do so. We have so much control in these arenas. If Hashimoto's thyroiditis, rheumatoid arthritis, or lupus were terminal diseases, It's a different ball game. It's a different conversation. You need a team of oncologists. You need experimental meds. You need all sorts of stuff. There's a lady on TikTok that I've been watching, and I pray for her. She's battling something that's stage 4. And, people have to go through radiation and things like that. If you have Hashimoto, thyroiditis, rheumatoid arthritis, or lupus, insulin resistance, leaky gut, you guys, look at the control we have. And what if you found out? What if today is the first day you hear me say, this is 100% reversible, in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you the doctors to go listen to get your hopes up. Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Kiltz, he's a fertility specialist out of New York. He uses carnivore to help women with their fertility issues. Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Eric Berg, I can send you to people who will talk to you about all of this. But the point being that what if you find out today that it's all turnaroundable, and that it's a simple process, targeted supplements and food. Come on, we can do this. That's not hard. What's hard is having a protocol for something that's stage 4. That's hard. So autoimmune diseases, fallout from leaky gut. Good morning. Good morning. Yep. Missy, really, lupus is linked to leaky gut. Yes. No idea, Lisa said. I know. And that's why, you guys, I know that so many of you are on the gut reset protocol, and I am so grateful. But will you do me a favor? Will you give your body a little bit of permission to go through its healing processes? Do you think that you fix leaky gut overnight? I doubt it. I doubt that you think you can fix leaky gut overnight. This is a healing journey. I want you to ask yourself instead, where can I be in December of 2025? Where can I be a year from now? Not, gosh, I hope this is fixed by the new year. Stop requiring your body to do things that it's working hard. It's working hard for you. Come on. People who have Hashimoto's and lupus and these things are frustrating, right? And this is the fallout. So there were many processes before it got to the fallout. So the autoimmune diseases, and then chronic inflammation, a precursor to diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Chronic inflammation, precursor to diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. And what causes chronic inflammation? We already just went through that. Insulin resistance. Mood disorders. Have you guys been dealing with, and you don't have to answer me in the comments if you don't want to, but you can. I'm not going to call out your name. I hope I don't. I'm not meaning to. I just get excited to see you. That's why. But mood disorders, depression, and anxiety linked to the gut-brain axis disruption. I think we're starting to hear about it more and more. You guys are starting to finally hear about the connection between your gut and your brain and anxiety and depression. And then nutrient malabsorption, leading to deficiencies in vitamins like B12 or magnesium. Okay, so that's the fallout of not dealing with it. Golly, think about the fact that we're walking around with a lot of issues that we could actually be turning around. Man, so how do you heal leaky gut naturally? Well, you can eliminate triggers. Number 1, eliminate your gluten, your dairy, your sugar, and your processed foods. Why do you think I say over and over and over again, grain, sugar, legume free? Let's stop spiking our sugars and calling on insulin. Inflammation! High insulin, inflammation. Let's stop. You have to stop. Stop living on the edges. Stop living on all of the content that tells you that you can, it's all about balance, honey. You can have oatmeal as long as it's steel cut. No. No grain, no sugar, no legumes. Stop spiking your sugar so you can stop calling on insulin so you can start to bring down your inflammation. I love the food that I eat. I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie. And I've just switched it out. We'll do the pantry and the fridge today at 3:00 in the group. Incorporate gut healing foods. So bone broth, rich in collagen and glutamine to repair the lining. Fermented foods like yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, and restore healthy bacteria. Fermented greens are in this primer. Yay. Makes me feel good every single day that I take it. Fiber-rich foods help nourish beneficial gut microbes. Supplement wisely. L-glutamine repairs intestinal walls. Did you know if you are on the orange pixie stick? Did you know that if you're on the orange pixie stick, you're taking this? This is for the reduction of the visceral, stubborn fat around your waist and your hips. It's a clinical dose of an extract. This actually has L-glutamine in it. Did you know that? Just telling you. It repairs intestinal walls. This is not just a fat burner. It's called a thermogenic. It's not just a fat burner, but I know that you'll respond to fat burner, right? Everybody wants it, and it is what it does. But it also is another layer for your insulin sensitivity. It also helps your gut lining. Those are just side notes, man. Those are just the side notes. Probiotics balance the gut microbiome. We talk about that all the time. With the gut primer, you need a good probiotic, a really good probiotic. And I take this one every single day. It's not enough just to take yogurt. You need more active live cultures than that. Like I talked to somebody who her husband had passed from cancer, and she said, well, okay, that's great, but can I see I need to see how many CFUs are in your probiotic. And I said, absolutely. She said, because I know from being at enough cancer centers that in the millions is not enough. And I said, well, this one is, and I can't remember the number right now. I might be like 6.3 billion. And she said, oh, okay, then we're good. It's in the billions. I'm like, yeah. Zinc reduces gut inflammation. I have an excellent zinc, by the way, you guys. I don't talk about it hardly ever, but it's mixed with holy basil. And if you didn't know, holy basil is another adaptogenic herb. Adaptogenic herbs are God's gift to us. They help your body adapt to stress, but holy basil is good for the upper respiratory. So if you need a really good zinc with something like a holy basil, man, that is a good supplement in my line. Really helps that upper respiratory. So if you feel compromised in that area as we go into winter. Number 4, reduce stress. Chronic stress harms your gut integrity. So if you're just stressed all the time, Tanya Lee, good morning. Thank you so much for jumping in and loving my live on TikTok. I so appreciate you. Chronic stress harms your gut integrity. And so you need to deal with your stress. We talk about that a lot too. Living in fight or flight is not good. Getting only a few hours of sleep at night, not good. You have to fix it. You really have to prioritize it. And it might take you a half a minute. It might. Like, I take 2 magnesium at night and I take my ashwagandha every single night. I have a really good ashwagandha. Because ashwagandha, as an adaptogenic herb, helps with stress, sleep, and mood. And of course, the adequate sleep is the big piece. But that really is kind of the overarching conversation, how insulin resistance, it leads to leaky gut. It leads to chronic inflammation. It leads to a messed up gut. It leads to oxidative stress. It leads to fatty liver and bile imbalance. And it leads to slow gut motility. That's what insulin resistance is leading to. And it's very, very frustrating that is basically what's happening. You could identify leaky gut in yourself if you, you can always go and get tests, but some of the symptoms would be, Gabby, good morning. Good to see you. Nice to have you on. If you have digestive issues like bloating, gas, diarrhea, or constipation, if you have food sensitivities, increased reactions to foods that you once did not have issues with, if you have chronic fatigue and brain fog, if you have skin issues like eczema, rashes, or acne, if you have joint pain and muscle aches, if you have a weakened immunity, you're getting frequent colds or infections. Ditch things like to the degree that you can and should. Gluten, dairy, processed foods, refined sugar, alcohol, and seed oils. You've got to lower your inflammation load. And if you do not do anything about your leaky gut, it can lead to autoimmune diseases such as Hashimoto thyroiditis, rheumatoid arthritis, or lupus, chronic inflammation, which is a precursor to diabetes, heart disease, and obesity, mood disorders like anxiety and depression, linked to the gut-brain axis disruption, and nutrient malabsorption. Oftentimes we're deficient in like B12 or magnesium because we're leaking nutrients into our bloodstream. We're leaking toxins, and our gut is not holding them and nourishing our bodies. And that's what's really hard. So instead, you can start to eliminate some of these triggers by removing gluten, dairy, sugar, and processed foods. We talk about this all the time. It's not only doable, but it's super yummy. I know you don't believe me, but then you need to get into the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I'll show you. Incorporate gut healing foods like bone broth, fermented foods, and fiber-rich foods. And then use supplements. Use supplements, reduce your stress, get your sleep. And the three things that I talk about the most when it comes to dealing with being able to go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive and to really being able to deal with your gut. And at any point, you can reach out to me and say, I would like a cart of the trio, or I would like a cart of the trio and the gut reset protocol. I would like the trio of all of the things that you talk about. And it's kind of a good, better, best conversation. So the trio are the 3 supplements that I started with a little over 10 years ago. And because it gets your body to function from the inside out, this is not hype. This is not magic potion. No, this is basic biology. Like if your insulin is high, you can't lose fat. I think I'm going to help my insulin to come down. If your liver is tired and toxic, it can't metabolize your fat. It's one of the things that your liver does. I think I'm going to work on my liver. I think I'm going to love my liver just a little bit more today. If you have visceral fat, and if you have the fat that it's subcutaneous, it's underneath what you can squeeze, and your metabolism is slow, you can actually work on that. This is just natural cellular organ help, as opposed to taking an injection that taps on the door of your pancreas, telling it to release more insulin. This is a cellular conversation because this is a hormonal conversation. Insulin is a hormone. Cortisol is a hormone. All of your, GLP-1 is a hormone. All of the things that you want fixed in your life because you're overweight, you can't lose a pound, you're super frustrated, like you've never been this weight before, you can't budge 1 inch, all of those things start with things like insulin conversation, with leaky gut. These are the conversations. So good is the trio, better is the trio with the gut protocol. This is a primer with a probiotic. That's a better option to get both, do both and the best option would be to do those 2 and add in, I've got it right here, and add in the orange pixie stick. I already took mine. But it literally is like candy. And this is a thermogenic that really does target the stubborn visceral fat on your hips and your waist. And that is exactly what's happening when it comes to testimonies. My own, my husband's, customers, friends. Like this is a really amazing product. But anyway, but this is the best, getting all of it. Okay. And I will give you a cart for all of those. But I do want to show you this. This looks like a greens product. And I know you see greens products all over your feed. I know you do. I know you're seeing, I won't name the companies, but I know you're seeing greens products everywhere. This is not a greens product. This is a primer. So after all that conversation with leaky gut, don't you want something that's a little different? Don't you want something that's actually going to like shift what's happening inside of your gut? And again, that goes back to there's that 1-hour longevity seminar clinic. It's 1 hour on Wednesday, December 18th from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You have to reach out to me to get the Zoom link if you want in. It's free. 1 hour, and you will understand this at a much higher level than I can explain it to you. But We're talking 6 different blends in one primer to help all of the things that we just talked about. Helps with nutrient absorption, helps with inflammation, helps with digesting your food properly, helps with liver health, oral health. It has the fermented greens already in it. It has the digestive enzymes. It has alkaline spices. You know you need an alkaline environment. It helps all of those pieces that you're looking for. I think that the actual like testimonies are things like, OMG, my constipation is gone. And if you live with constipation, stop normalizing that and thinking that that's okay. It's not good for your body. Okay? Like it's not. So you want to have help with your constipation. If you have indigestion and you constantly have that messed up acid balance, remember we're talking about leaky gut and the connection between fatty liver and that balance, that imbalance with your bile. And maybe you're constantly like having issues with antacids, and then you're taking antacid medication, which is the opposite of what needs to be done, in my opinion, just from the things that I've read. Like, you need a proper acid balance. You don't need to take away the acid. You're just putting a Band-Aid on a much larger gaping hole, and you don't want to do that. So indigestion is not normal. Constipation is not normal. Sleeping 4 hours a night is not normal. These are things that are common, but they're not normal, especially for the health and longevity of your body. So if anybody has questions, let me know what your questions are. Julie! Hold on. We're speaking about, are you saying constipation? Yes, constipation. Yes, Julie, that's what we're talking about. You can't be constipated, Julie. Stop it. Stop being. I think I missed something. Anyway, you're so funny. Yes, I know. It was really funny because I was at my business meeting last night and we were talking about how it used to, like be a little taboo to talk about, pooping all the time. And a friend of mine said, us guys, he said, we've been talking about poop for a long time. He said, but to hear the women talk about poop now, it's really kind of interesting. It's like really mainstream conversation. And I'm like, yes, but it needs to be. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm super like, my heart, when we have colon issues and digestive issues and cancers and things that are digestive and GI related and all of the stuff, and here we've got things that we could be doing to really help our bodies function. I'm just like, we don't have to continue down the road of thinking that it's okay to, Julie's laughing, to have the C word. I know I've already said it a few times. I'm probably already flagged. I don't know. To have the C word and think that it's okay then to just keep eating sugar. We probably need to rethink a few things, a few basic things. And, or the fact that we have, maybe if we already know we have fatty liver, just ask yourself how excited you would be to find out that you have fat around your pancreas. You wouldn't be very excited about that. The diagnosis is just a challenge. It's not hard for God, but it's hard for us, right? There are things that you don't want down the road. And so I know that we literally count the cost. Like, we decide whether or not we're going to invest in our health. And I get that, but we count the cost, meaning like, is that really going to help? Is that really going to make a difference? Does it really matter? Like I can ride the fringes of the envelope of what I'm eating. I can, and I'm not perfect. I am not perfect. And I'm not here to say that I am. There are groups that are really tight up on their ingredients. And some people really, they need that. They want that. And I'm not against it. I'm just saying that I know where I'm at in my journey. And so I've created a world that I can speak from experience on. I've never become a Maria Emmert coach. I've never gone through her training. I know that the moderators in her group are really tight on ingredients, and that is very beneficial for a lot of people. I'm just at a different place, maybe. I mean, I guess I'm just learning just like you are, right? Like, I feel like we're more on the same level of when I know better, I do better. And I want to just encourage you that you can do the same thing, because I'm the poster child for being a train wreck and a sugar addict. I have pretty much nailed my food, but I don't nitpick. Like, if I go to a restaurant, I know that they're cooking in seed oils. I still eat out, things like that. I'm not complete. I am legume free, other than, occasionally, like, who was it? Was it you, Julie, that brought up the peanut blossoms? I mean, I might make those, Christmas time. I'm just saying, like, it's not perfection, it's progress. And I just know where my balances are. But I can tell that how do I know that my body has been healing over these years? Well, I've lost 3 sizes. That tells me that my insulin resistance is in check, and that I'm able to actually finally lose weight. Not weight, fat. I'm actually able to lose fat. And that's a big conversation, because I don't want to lose weight at the cost of losing my muscle, or thinking I'm doing a good job and all I've done is lose impacted waste. Like, I just, had really good poop. That's not beneficial. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is, but I'm not going to let a scale dictate my emotions because I lost water weight, or I have impacted waste, or I lost muscle mass. Like, that's messed up. That's messed up, that I would allow myself to think that I'm actually gaining ground. But I have very systematically lost 3 full sizes. I've lost fat off of areas in my body that I never, ever thought were going to go away. From the inside of my knees to, like, my arm area here, to now most recently with the thermogenic that I talk about, I am shocked. I am shocked at how my hips are narrowing right here. I'm like, I honestly thought that was just, we were just in the hippiness era. I was in my hippiness era, and that's how we were going to ride this thing out. I'm going to be 60 next month. We're riding out the hips. Like, this is just how it's going to be. And I'm a little shocked. I'm a little surprised at how good it has done. So anyway, do I have a list of foods that you particularly eat on a daily basis so we can get started on better health? Julie says library. Good to reflect on the toilet. You are hysterical. How about diverticular, or when it flares up? Yep. So I'm going to tell you this. So I'll talk about that. When I talk about food, this is what I tell people. I know I can tell you everything that you shouldn't eat, but how about if we just focus on what you are going to use? So you're not living in deprivation land or restriction land. You are just switching out ingredients for another set of ingredients. So where maybe your pantry looked like white sugar, white flour, and seed oils, you start to cook with, like, almond flour, coconut, olive oil, and you start using sweeteners like allulose. Allulose is a really good sweetener, and in fact, they're showing that it brings down your blood sugar. It's an amazing sweetener. I digress. But it's the same thing with the food in your refrigerator. So obviously, processed foods are off the table, whether it's keto or not. That's not even the conversation. I know they're marketing to you. I get what they're doing. I'm not stupid, but it's messing you up. It's keeping you overweight, and you are frustrated because you're buying boxed or bagged keto foods, and it's not helping. Oh, the library is the bathroom. Yes, got it. Got it. That's where you're doing your research, Julie. I'm tracking. And so what I say is, okay, let's do this. Let's focus on meat, eggs. Oh, you guys, you just have no idea how, when you up your protein like this with animal proteins, how good you'll feel. Meat, eggs, full fat dairy, if you're going to do dairy, because I'm not dairy free yet. I don't know that I ever will. I don't know. Full fat dairy, non-starchy vegetables, berries for fruit, and with diverticulitis, probably not, but for the average person who's listening, needs nuts and seeds. Just kind of keep them at bay. With diverticulitis, you have to kind of be very careful with that. Like potentially you could do some almond flour because it's finely ground, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and again, I'm not a doctor. This is just research. And my mother had diverticulitis. And so I just know stuff. But people who go, and I'm not, and I have not done it, but people who go carnivore, meat is so healing. Bone broth is so healing to your gut. Those are the best steps that you can take. If you are in grain land, you are in inflammation land. You just are. That's why grains, inflammatory, get them out. Sugar, inflammatory, get it out. Dairy, if you know that you're very sensitive to dairy, get it out. Maybe you can tolerate raw milk. Maybe you can tolerate goat's milk. Maybe you can, there are other things that people can do. Maybe if you've noticed that you have less inflammation, if you drink lactose-free something. I mean, I don't know what's out there because I don't pay attention to that. But those are the things. But once you eliminate grain and sugar and processed foods, like, it makes it so easy because now you're like, so for me, when I'm done here, I have not eaten yet today. I've taken my gut primer. I've taken my probiotic. I've taken my thermogenic. I've taken my supplements, plus took a couple others. My turmeric and all of my things, a digestive enzyme, and I'm trying to think of what else I took this morning. Ashwagandha. Take my stuff. And now I'll eat when I get off here with you guys. I'll probably start with, I'll probably have like 3 eggs and a chicken sausage. And the chicken sausage that I have in my house right now is Gilbert's, which is from Walmart. And it has good ingredients. So I'll do a chicken sausage, 3 eggs, and that'll be like 32 grams of protein. Excellent choice. My blood sugars will stay stable. I will feel full and satiated. I'll protect my lean muscle mass. And to the best of my ability as a person who does not have a degree in it, I can, as a layperson, I guarantee you that would be very soothing to your body, to your system. Very soothing, very anti-inflammatory, very low inflammation. I eat a very low inflammatory diet and I love the way I feel. I love the fact that I've turned back my insulin resistance. I love how good I feel. I wake up in the morning, I'll be 60. I don't ache. I don't ache. I get down on the floor with my grandbabies. I'm not saying that I, like everybody else, if I, walk in the wrong shoes or you just walk a ton, you don't you're not tired or you're not, whatever. I mean, I go to the chiropractor twice a month. That helps with everything. Good to see you guys. Thanks for jumping in. So I'm just saying, you can lower that inflammation load and have a completely different experience with diverticulitis and have it go away, in my opinion. And I would maybe look up Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Eric Berg, those type of people. All right. So tomorrow morning, we'll be back here at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then 3 o'clock, we'll do another session in the group. And don't forget these simple things. The track that I have for people to run on is targeted supplementation. And like I said, good, better, best options for a cart for you to get started. But then I have a Facebook group called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And I do a free challenge in there every single month so that you can get resourced and encouraged and you can really make a difference in the month that you're living in. And then you don't have to feel discouraged because the next month we'll do it again. And you can maybe stave off discouragement by getting yourself resourced and encouraged and allowing yourself journey, because we have to do this for the long term. We can't have a short-term mentality. And if you've never seen my information before, if you don't know really what I'm talking about, I highly recommend that you go to my Instagram page. It's my name. TikTok, you would go up to my profile and then click on my face again here. And then there's a little IG portal on my profile, and you can portal over there. At the very, very top of my Instagram is a pink highlight bubble, and it has testimony after testimony after testimony of what these 3 little supplements have done for people. Sugars down, insulin down, weight down, off of meds. Like, I'm just telling you, you have so much control over what's going on. You just don't know it yet. And the last piece is that having that track to run on, connected with somebody who will walk journey with you, just know that one of my core values is that I teach people to do this without any shame. You have to stop blaming yourself for things that, for the unprocessed emotions that you have from childhood. I had them too. This is how I had to start my journey. Like, why, I was taught with a big, strong culture of food as an Italian person. And so I understand what that's like, but stop blaming yourself or being unkind to yourself. Do you know that I didn't even work on trading out my food until I was shy of my 51st birthday? And now it's 9 years later, and I'm now shy of my 60th birthday. I've lost 3 sizes. I'm the only one in my family to have avoided type 2. The only one. My dad took the path of medication. I took the path of supplementation. I'm the only one. I have obesity and type 2 all over my Italian family. Now, not everybody, I can't speak for everybody's health in my larger Italian family, but I'm talking about for my own immediate family. I'm the only one. It's because I took the path of supplementation. And then I went, okay, fine. I'll figure out my food. And it took me 3 to 4 years. So stop being so hard on yourself, thinking that you have to have this figured out by January 1st. No. I'm still, every single day I wake up and I prioritize. I prioritize my gut. I prioritize my liver. I prioritize my everything because I want a different result than my mom had. Dementia for 5 years, being taken care of by her daughters and then gone at 94. That was stupid. It's a stupid way to exist. We don't have to live with the fallout of all of this insulin resistance and everything that comes with it, including dementia. We don't have to do this. So I'm going to take control of what I can take control of. And right now, I can honestly say to every single person, I love how I feel when I wake up. I love the food that I eat. I really, truly enjoy my life. Very, very much so. And I would not have told you that 10 years ago. No. I was a 2X. I was addicted to sugar. I felt like trash. I was exhausted. I just did not feel good at all. So there you go. All right. See you back here tomorrow. And if you need anything, messenger. If you need anything, inbox on my Instagram. If you need anything, message me on TikTok. I'll tell you where we can chat to if you need actual links. I just can't do them on here, but just get into my messages. Follow me so that you can keep up with insulin resistance information and help. And just message me. I'm available and I'll get to it eventually. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. It takes me sometimes a few minutes every day to get through the messages, but I do it. I do it. All right. Have a super good day. Be blessed.